Hey folks, this is Andre from Wealthy Neighbor. Hope you're all doing well. In this video, we'll talk about a book called Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill. Please take time to read your disclaimer, and if you agree with our terms and conditions, let's go. Many people say that Think and Grow Rich is a classic in its genre. It's a book that inspired many other authors and many other businessmen and successful people. So we'll start with what the book's about and then some of its main ideas. In this video, we will not get to make a discussion about it, but in the following days, I will post a series of videos about the same book, which will discuss it in more depth. So we'll talk about its philosophy, we'll talk about the six spheres, and we'll also talk about how to get started, how to lay the groundwork in order to use this philosophy and follow what the author suggests. So what's the book about? Think and Grow Rich is a self-improvement book. So the basic idea is that thought, backed by a strong desire, has the tendency to transmute itself into its physical equivalent. And if we remember the title of the book, Think and Grow Rich. So every riches, every wealth, every amount of money starts from a thought. It starts in your brain, backed by a strong desire. So you have to desire to a very large extent what you want. You have to desire that money, you have to desire that wealth. And then when you think about it long enough and hard enough, and of course when you start to act and try to reach your thoughts, your goals, it has a tendency to transmute itself into its physical equivalent. So if you desire money, you have money. If you desire good health, you have good health. If you desire a relationship, you have a relationship, as long as you think about it hard enough and act on it. So Think and Grow Rich is a philosophy of individual achievement. The book lists 30 major reasons for failure and 13 major principles through which people accumulate riches. So I don't think this is a coincidence, the fact that there are 3 times more ways to fail than to succeed. This means that we have to be vigilant, we have to be aware of what's going on in our lives, and we have to be ready to take out all these reasons for failure, so we can succeed and we can accumulate riches and we can reach our dreams and our goals. The book was written shortly after the beginning of the Great Depression. Actually, the author started his research some years earlier, but the first version of the book was published in 1937. There is one interesting fact the author tells us, that why this Think and Grow Rich, why this philosophy makes so much sense to him, and he gives us the personal example. He says that one of his children, his son, was born without ears, and the doctor said that his son would be a deaf mute for all of his life. But the author refused to believe it, and he treated his son as a normal person. He did not accept this disability, and he tried to plant in his son's mind the idea that he can be just like anyone else. The author didn't enroll his son in a special school and did not treat the son as a person with a disability. And every night, the author would encourage his son to think that he is just like anyone else, and he can do whatever he wants, and not having ears and being deaf mute now is not a liability to him. He can use it somehow to make his own life better, and all he needs is to think, and think hard, and desire to be normal, a desire to reach his dreams. And by doing that, the author was building his son's subconscious. He was planting ideas so that his son would actually believe that he can be just like anyone else. And it turns out that everything worked. And at a certain point in the son's life, he went in a clinical trial for a new hearing device, and after that, he was able to hear just like anyone else. And then he became an employee at the hearing device company and helped to market it for other people like him. So the big idea here, guys, is the power of thought. So if we believe blindly in something and we act on it, and we have this faith, we have this undying belief in something, and we will start to think about it every day, and then it will transmute in its physical equivalent. It's not about luck. It's not about having a break or getting luck in life, because the author believes that luck only comes for those who are prepared for it, for those who are able to seize opportunities. And we are only able to do this if we have the right mindset, if we are thinking about what we desire 24/7 to the point of obsession. And the author was greatly influenced by Andrew Carnegie to write this book. Mr. Carnegie was an entrepreneur and a very rich person back in the day, and he founded the U.S. Steel Company, which still exists nowadays. So at some point of the author's life, Andrew Carnegie came to him and told him that he should consider writing a book that synthesizes this philosophy of success to help other people, especially these people after the Great Depression who were feeling disappointed and depressed, both financially and literally, psychologically, and they thought that there was nothing else they could do, and all they wanted was quit and give up. So Napoleon Hill embraced this duty. He embraced this ideal that Carnegie envisioned, and interviewed thousands of people in the span of 25 years to come up with this book, Think and Grow Rich, this philosophy of success. So some people that also influenced Napoleon Hill are George Washington, responsible for the independence of the United States; Henry Ford, responsible for making the automobile something known around the world; Thomas Jefferson, who invented the telephone; and Andrew Carnegie himself. The author says that riches, whatever it's financial, spiritual, or mental, when they come in great quantities, are never the result of hard work or physical labor. So everything starts in the mind. It starts with an idea, it starts with thought. And being successful means attaining peace of mind, all material needs of life, both basics and luxuries, everything you want, and most importantly, attaining happiness. And the definition of happiness varies from one to another. In his philosophy, the author believes that when the mind is fed positive thoughts backed by strong positive emotions, it will transmute what you desire into the means to physically attain it. So when you think about something you desire hard enough, you come up with an idea, with a plan to attain it. And you need persistence and faith to act on this plan. But when the mind is fed negative thoughts, fear and worry, it creates alibis for poverty, failure, and mediocrity. And these three things are creations of the mind. And mankind is protective and proud of all of their creations, whatever they are. So if you have positive thoughts, good things will happen. If you have negative thoughts, bad things will happen. This is how it is. You just attract what you think about the most, what you feed your subconscious the most. The author also talks about leadership, the qualities and the weaknesses of a leader, and also about personal marketing, or how to market your services so you can get whatever job you want, or you can make as much money as you want. And he also says that personal marketing or personal branding is something that will be very important from now on, because the employee relationships are going to change and need to become more like a partnership. So employers will look for qualified people they see as partners, And it's your job, it's the employee's job to market their qualities and their strong points as best as they can so the employees can find them and hire them. The author emphasizes the importance of self-knowledge and self-analysis. He emphasizes that it's imperative to be brave, to be courageous, to know yourself, to know your limitations, and to know your deficiencies, to accept them and correct them. And those are, according to the author, some of the main reasons for failure: lack of a well defined purpose, lack of goal, or lack of objectives, lack of ambition, lack of self discipline, lack of persistence, concentration, and effort, lack of decision, lack of enthusiasm, lack of character by demonstrating dishonesty, egotism, and vanity. So people who are less likely to succeed will share one or more of these negative qualities. The author also talks about what freedom means in America and how capital or capitalism plays a role in it. So capitalists render services without which there would be no civilization, and they create opportunities for anyone who is willing to try, who is willing to risk and work hard for an idea that this person believes in. Everyone gets opportunities, but only a few decide to act. There is only one reliable and legal way to accumulate riches, which is rendering useful service. So capitalism offers you the opportunity to have people who need all those different kinds of services. And if you have something to offer and you are willing to handle the service with quality, quantity, and with appropriate attitude, you will be compensated for it. You will get your money. This is how capitalism works. And this is the only reliable and legal way to accumulate riches. The author emphasizes the importance of definite decisions. No retreat, put your life on the line, and burn all the escape routes, burn all the bridges. So once you are at war in enemy territory, there is no escape. It's either do or die. So you have this definite decision, and you are going to do your best to get to the end of it, to see it to its conclusion, because otherwise you are dead. There is no retreat. The author also mentions this invisible counselors of his, which is a way to master character through auto-suggestion. And this is a trick he used. He used to imagine all those famous people like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and Albert Einstein and Copernicus and all these famous personalities, scientists, businessmen, and he would imagine that they were in session, and the author was responsible for coordinating the session. So the author would imagine all these people with their personalities and their perks and the manner of speech and their ideas. So he would imagine himself interacting with all this famous and notorious personality, and this would help him master his character through this principle of auto-suggestion, because he would be spending time with those imaginary people and learning from them. Since people say that we are an average of the 5 people we interact the most, the author used this concept to create these imaginary people and get from them what he seems more valuable. And states of mind, which are governed by thought, can be cultivated. So you have control over your mind, and it's the only thing we have absolute control over. And since we are given this control, it's also our duty to make sure we are feeding our mind properly. We are thinking positive thoughts. We are not hostage of fear, of worry, and of negative thoughts, so that we can transmute our desires, riches, health, relationships into the physical means to obtain it, so we can get those ideas from what the author calls infinite intelligence, which is like a mystical place in which all those brilliant ideas are available, but only some people are able to get these ideas from this mystical place. And this takes a positive state of mind. This takes desire, this takes obsession about your desires. And worry is your worst enemy. So you have to master worry and annoyance because it cripples imagination. And imagination is also a means of communicating with infinite intelligence. This is how you're going to get the ideas or the definite plans to reach your desires. Before being successful, one must master indecision, doubt, and fear. Indecision, doubt, and fear are emotions that lead to worry, and these negative emotions will act on your subconscious and transmute into worry. So once you are worried all the time, you will stop thinking, you will stop aiming for greatness, you will stop desiring to be more than what you are. It will kill your ambition, it will make you someone frustrated. So you must protect your mind, you must protect your subconscious from indecision, doubt, and fear. And this is possible because these emotions are all states of mind, and we have control of our mind, we have control over our thoughts. So we can choose whatever we want to let indecision, doubt, and fear rule us or not. And to wrap it up, this philosophy starts with desire, starts with a burning desire for something material, and it ends with understanding, understanding of self, understanding of others, understanding of the laws of nature, and finally, most importantly, the understanding of happiness. This philosophy takes a thinking, a desiring, powerful desire mixed with emotions that will lead to a plan which you have to act with persistence, without giving up upon failure, and pushing, keep pushing until you are finally able to get what you desire. And this is how the author defines his philosophy of personal achievement. This is it for this video, guys. In the following videos, we'll talk in more depth about the fears that cause worry, some of the principles of this philosophy, and we'll talk about how to get started and how to apply this philosophy of personal success to your life. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later. Bye bye.